resume. So we'll start the next question. That is question number 12. The ratio of the sum of m and n terms P is m square is to n square. Show that the ratio of mth and nth terms is 2m minus 1 is to minus 1. Okay. So sum of the m and n terms ratio is the ratio of mth and nth term. So let me type the question. Insert equation. So here it is given as Sm upon Sn. Suffix. Upon Sn is given as m square upon n square. So let me put this is n square upon n square. We will cross it. The sum of m terms and n terms is m square upon n square. First let me see this one. So I'll write the formula for Sm. What is the formula which we have? M upon 2 into 2a plus 2a plus minus 1 into b. This is Sm formula. When I come to Sn formula, you will get it as n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into b is equals to this n square upon n square will be there. Okay. So that should I keep the alarm 3 minutes before? Now what are the things will get cancelled in this step? Will get cancelled m upon 2 n upon 2. So 2 will get cancelled, and here you have 1m on the RHS. On RHS you have m square, so you can get cancelled 1m because both are in the numerator. Similarly, you can get cancelled this denominator n, this n with 1n here. So let me write out what are the things are sorry left out. So you have here 1m will be left, sorry, nothing will be left out here. You have 2a plus m minus 1 into b. And here you have 2a plus n minus 1 into d is equals to m upon n. How m square upon n square is becoming m upon n? Because you have m upon n, so 1 will get cancelled. Now what we can do is we can do the cross multiplication and simplify, multiply. First n, this denominator n will multiply with 2a plus m minus 1 into d. Let me see what we get. 2an, sorry, 2an plus, first I'll get m into d is md into n. So it will come as m and d minus d into n is dn is equals to, now numerator m will multiply with the denominator term 2am. Hope you are understanding here. This m will first m multiply with d, so it will be md. Now md will multiply with n minus 1, so it is m and d minus md. So these are the terms you will get cancelled. In both the sides you have m and d. Here also you have m and d. the same signs and opposite sides of equality. So both will get cancelled. What you left out here is 2an minus dn is equals to 2am minus md. So these are the terms will be left out. So I'm putting the other terms one side, like 2an minus 2am is equals to, you'll get here dn minus dm or md. So I'm interchanging the terms. D terms one side and 2 multiplying the two terms on other side. Now what you can do is, from both the terms in the LHS, you can take 2 common, 2a. So you have here n minus m is equals to, if I take d common from both the terms, here also I'll have n minus m. So both the sides n minus m will get cancelled. So I left out here as 2a equals to b. Okay. So this I'll give you as equation number 1. I got the relation between a and b by using sm upon sm. Now what you have to find in the question, what they are given, find the ratio of mth and nth term, that is am upon an. So let me insert the equation. This will be am upon an. The ratio between am and an. So we can write the formula of am. What is the formula of am? A plus minus 1 into b upon a plus n minus 1 into b. So next step, I think you understood. B value, I'll replace it as 2a. So I have a plus minus 1 into 2a, a plus n minus 1 into 2a. So d value I am replacing as 2a. From the numerator and denominator, I think I can take a common and get cancelled. So for taking a common, what you left out here is 1 plus m minus 1 into 2. So I'll write it as 2m minus 2. I'm taking a common and cancelling, and this bracket m minus 1 into 2 will be left out. So I open the bracket. 2 into m is 2. 2 into 1 is 2. Similarly, in the denominator also I have 1 plus 2n minus 2. So at the last, if you simplify properly, so I have 2m minus 1 upon 2n minus 1. I think this is what you have to prove. Prove that the ratio of mth and nth term is 2m minus 1 upon 2n minus 1. That's what I get, 2m minus 1 upon 2n minus 1. Okay. So here the first ratios, they are given in the question. I simplified that ratio and I got the relation between a and b. We call it as equation number 1. Okay. First ratio I used to get the relation between a and b. Then I have to find the ratio of am upon an. Then I substituted the formula. After substituting the formula, I replaced d value here. Then I simplified. So I got the final. I hope this example is, this question is understood for everyone. Sir, no? Okay. I think 13th question you can solve. The sum of n terms is given, that is Sn value is given as 3n square plus 5n. find its nth term, that is am is given as 164, and the value of n. Simply find S1, that will give you a value, find S2, then you find S2 minus S1, that will give you A2 value, then again you find A2 minus A, that will give you D value. Once you know A and D value, you have to apply AM formula, that is A plus M minus 1 into D equals to 164. Substitute A value, D value, you get the M value. Okay, so you can solve the 13th question. I'm leaving you as homework only. 14th question, insert 5 numbers between 8 and 26 such that the resulting sequence is AP. I think this also you can solve. What is the D formula we discussed? D equals to D minus A upon, I did not remember the formula. Anyone remember what is D formula? B minus A upon N plus 1 is. So here B is 26 minus 8. 26 minus 8 is 18. 18 upon 5 terms you have to insert. So 5 plus 1 is 6. So 18 upon 6 is 3. So your D value is 3. 8 upon 3, sorry, 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. 17 plus 3 is 20. 20 plus 3, 23. 23 plus 3, 26. I think we got the answer already. Now 15th question I will explain you. Can you solve 13 and 14th? Yes or no? Yeah, somebody has given the Pranav. Thank you. Okay. Same students are giving the reply every time. I want everyone. There are 34 students in the class. If I exclude myself, 32 students are there. Okay. So what is the question which we have discussed? 15th question. Let me insert the equation. What is the question is about? 8, sorry. Power of n plus b to the power of n. See, here the questions looks dangerous, but that is the s b to the power of n of n plus b to the power of n upon b to the power of n minus 1 upon b to the power of n minus 1. So this is given, right? What is given about that? If this term is the arithmetic mean between A and B, if this is the arithmetic mean between A and B, then what should be the value of n? So I think in last class we discussed arithmetic mean of A and B is nothing but average of the two numbers. So if A and B I have, then arithmetic mean is given by A plus B upon 2. This is the arithmetic mean, I got it from the formula, and this is the arithmetic mean which they are given. If they are A and B, so arithmetic mean should be unique. It should be only one arithmetic mean is possible between two given number. So hence these two must be equal. To the cross multiplication, to the cross multiplication, let's see what we get. You will get as 2 times of b to the power of n plus 2 times of b to the power of n is equal to, what I do here is I will multiply. Can I do, or okay? Let me do one step. Maybe we are doing so shortcut. We can do here it is a plus b into this term will come. Brackets now. The LHS will remain as it is, 2a to the power of n plus 2b to the power of n remain as it is. If I open the bracket here, let's see what do you get. It will give me first, I'll multiply with a. A into a to the power of n minus 1 is nothing but a to the power of n only, plus a into b to the power of n minus 1. I multiplied with a, and then if I multiply with b, plus b into a to the power of n minus 1, then b into b to the power of n minus 1 is nothing but is b to the power of n. A power m into a power n is a power n plus n. So this is b means b to the power of 1. So b to the power of 1 plus n minus 1. 1 will get cancelled. It will be b to the power of n. Now further simplification, what you can do is bring this a to the power of n as well as this b to the power of n to the left hand side. So it will be subtracted with this term. So then I will left out with a to the power of n plus 2 times of a to the power of n minus a to the power of n is nothing but a to the power of n only, minus 2 times of b to the power of n, not minus, this should be plus. 2 times of b to the power of n minus b to the power of n. So it will give you b to the power of n only is equals to the 2 terms which are left out here will be on the right hand side only. Okay, see, we are nothing doing new. We are using only that exponential formulas, product of the terms, nothing new. Now what you can do here is keep this a to the power of n here itself. Okay. And here itself minus, you bring this b into a to the power of n minus 1 to the right hand side, which is equals to this term already on the right hand side only, so I'll keep this term as it is, minus I'm bringing this b to the power of n, and then changing the terms to the left, to the right, some are to the left, some are to the right. I am doing so because from these terms, can I take anything common from a to the power of n, and from b into a to the power of n minus 1, can I take anything common? Yes. I think a into a to the power of n minus 1 will get common. So here a will be left and here b will be left. You can check. Similarly, in the RHS side, I can take b to the power of n minus 1 common. If I take b to the power of n minus 1 common, so here also I left out with a minus b. Okay. This is summary is given. I cannot take directly a to the power of n common. See here, you may have, you think I will take a to the power of n common, because n minus 1 is the smaller than n. So which means I have to take only the smaller quantity common. Now what happens here? A minus b both will get cancelled. So I left out with a to the power of n is equals to a to the power of n minus 1 equals to b to the power of n minus 1. This is the term which I left out. Now if I bring this, so here I'll keep, it will come a to the power of n minus 1 upon b to the power of minus 1, which is equals to 1. Okay, so the same thing I can write here it as, let me insert the equation again. So this I will rewrite as this I'll keep a here. Here I'll write it as b. Here I'll write as whole to the power of n minus 1. Right? A power m upon b power m is equals to a upon b whole to the power of m. Can we write? Yes. We can. Is equals to, I have 1. So 1 also I do gambling. What I write 1 as a upon b whole to the power of 0. A number whole to the power of 0 is 1 only. Okay. So this 1 I am replacing as a upon b whole to the power of 0 because we have a formula. If two exponents are equal, if bases are same, then the powers also must be equal. So according to that formula, I have n minus 1 is equals to 0. Therefore, n will be equals to 1. Okay. So that's it. That is the answer of this question. If n equals to 1, I consider in the given equation, in this equation. Okay. If it is 1 mark question, you can think logically also. If I take n equals to 1, this is plus b power 1 upon a power 0 plus b power 0. A power 0 is 1, b power 0 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So a plus b upon 2, which is same as RHS. Okay. But if they give for 4 or 6 mark question, so this is the process which I have to be followed. Is that clear for everyone? So n equals to 1. Okay. Easy, right? Next, we go for 16th question. How many questions we have by the way this exercise? 17, 18. Okay, finished. Between 1 and 31, n numbers have been inserted in such a way that the resulting sequence is an AP. Okay. Between 1 and 31, I am inserting m numbers. The ratio of 7 and m minus 1th numbers is 5:9. What is the value of m? Okay. So we'll go to question number 16. What is the ratio is given between 1 and 31? We are inserting m numbers. Between 1 and 31, we are inserting 31, sorry, m numbers. So then can you tell me how many numbers will be there in AP, total numbers in AP? How many numbers will be there in total? I think I asked this question. So Priyanshu Mishra, m plus 2. Inserting m numbers, and before first number 1 will be there and the last number will be 31. Total number in AP will be m plus 2. Okay. If m plus 2 are there, can I say my m plus 2 term is 31? And first a value is 1, and I'll go for m plus 2 term a m plus 2. This is a m plus 2 will be equals to 31. So that's total I have m plus 2 terms and my last term is 31. So m plus 2 term will be 31 only. So according to the formula, if I expand a m plus 2 form, a n formula, a plus n minus 1, that is m plus 2 minus 1 into d is equals to 31. I know a value is 1. If I substitute a value as 1 plus, here I'll get as m plus 2 minus 1, which is m plus 1 into d equals to 31. Simplify and get the value of d. D will give you as 30 upon m plus 1. This I'll take as equation number 1. The d value. Okay. So once you get the d value, now what is given? The ratio of 7th and m minus 1th term. This m minus 1th term in the sense, for example, let me take a random value here. I'll write this is buffer. Okay. For example, if I take 1 and 10, these are the two numbers I have taken, 1 and 10. If I insert not 10, let me go for easy calculations. If I take 11, if I insert 4 numbers between 1 and 11, so d value will be 12 upon, no, 3 numbers if I want to insert, 12 upon 4, which is 3. So my numbers will be 4, 3, 7, b plus a 12 upon 4. 12 upon 4 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4. And I am inserting 2 numbers. What is d formula? A plus b upon n plus 1. N plus 1, 4. 7 plus 3 is 11 only coming. Let me see now. Just a minute. D formula is a plus b upon n plus 1. If I want to insert 3 numbers, so it will be 3 plus 1 is 4. A plus b is 12. 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay, exclude this example. Let me come to the question only. This is m minus 1th term. So let me take this way. My first term I have taken as a. Insert the equation. Next term is, because I'm inserting m terms, so next term is a1. Then my next term is, this way, a2. Next term is a3. Okay, then and so on. Then I'll go for am minus 1. After am minus 1, then I'll get am. Then I'll get this as b. Okay, so what is given is the ratio term to the m minus 1th term. This is the m minus 1th term, but m minus 1th term is from a1 only. But if I start from a, can I say this will be my mth term? The ratio which they are given in the question, m minus 1 from a1 to am minus 1. This is m minus 1th term. But my ap is actually from a. So if I include a also, my m minus 1th term is nothing but the mth term. Can I conclude that? That is what I want to explain. Is that clear? What about other students? Okay. Here it is given as a ratio of, let me insert the equation. Ratio of 7th term, that is a7 upon, so I am writing the mth term from the starting. Am is equal to, what is the ratio they are given? They are given ratio as 5 upon 9. 5 upon 9. Okay, so let me substitute the formula for a7 and am. So if I substitute the formulas for a7 and am, a7 is a plus 6b, am is a plus m minus 1 into b is equals to 5 upon 6. Now you can substitute the d value which you got it from here. Okay, substitute d value as 30 upon m plus 1. Okay, and a value is 1. Then okay, let me show you one step, then I will leave it to you as homework. So here if I take it, this is a fraction. A value I have as 1 plus 6 multiplied by, what is d value? 30 upon m plus 1. So let me insert the equation here. 30 upon m plus 1. Here also you will get 1 plus, put the bracket, it is m minus 1 multiplied by d. I multiply by d, d value is again 30 upon m plus 1. So take the LCM here, then after taking the LCM, you simplify the fraction. Let me show you. If I take the LCM, you'll get 1 into m plus 1 is m plus 1. 6 into 30 is 150. Sorry, 180. Here you will get it as m plus 1. Then plus, here you have m minus 1 into 30. So it will be 30m minus 30. Now you may ask, sir, where is the denominator m plus 1? Here LCM is m plus 1. Here also LCM is m plus 1. So both the m plus 1 will get cancelled. So which is equals to, I have insert one more fraction here, it is m plus 181. And here you will get a 30m plus 1. That is 31m. 1 minus 30 minus 29. So this ratio value is given as 5 upon 6. So you will cross multiply and get the value of n. Okay, so I'm leaving the question here. I think you can do the cross multiplication. Is that clear? Yes. Okay, good. So that is also we solved. 17th one. So that is the one of the student, most of the students do the mistake here. It is they take a7 upon am minus 1, but thinking that this is the m minus 1th term of the given AP, but not in that scenario. They are given m minus 1th term out of m terms which we inserted. Okay, but from the starting, so your m minus 1th term will become nth term because a will be added. So that is the only one thing you have to be remember. Next one is, a man starts repaying a loan as first installment of 100 rupees. If he increases the installment by 5 rupees every month, what amount he will pay in the 30th installment? I think this is simplest question. AP starting from 100, 105, 110, it will go. So A value is 100, D value is 5, you have to find A30, 30th installment. So A30 you have to find, I think easiest one. Yeah, now 18th one little bit, you have to recall a few things. The difference between any two consecutive interior angles of a polygon is 5 degrees. If the smallest angle is 120 degrees, find the number of sides of the polygon. Okay, anyone remember the formula? If I know the number of sides, what is the sum of all the angles is given? This is question number 18. And remember the formula? I think we studied this formula in class 8, as I remember, 8 or 7 somewhere. This is given. Anyone remember the formula? If I know the number of sides, n into n minus 1 by 2, that is sum of all the sides. Arvind S. N minus 2 into 180 degrees. N should be greater than or equals to 3. Of course, polygons minimum will have 3 sides. So if I want for triangle, so n value is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 into 180 is 180. So sum of the angles in a triangle is 180. If I go for quadrilateral, number of sides are 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 into 180 is 360. Okay. So if sum of all the angles of a quadrilateral. So here I use this formula. What is given? The smallest angle is 120. So A value is 120 degrees. Okay. After knowing the A value, what is given? The difference of two consecutive angles will always be 5 degrees. So what that 5 number represents? Which value? Can you tell me what 5 represents? The difference of two consecutive angles is 5. Anshu Sharma, Deep. Yes, it represents D value because consecutive numbers means consecutive angles means the difference of second angle minus first angle will give me 5, which is nothing but D value. So A is given to you, D is given to us. Now we have the formula for sum of all the angles in a polygon is 180 into n minus 2. Sum of all the angles is given by a formula which is Sn. Sn equals to 180 into n minus 2. Okay. So next step what you do is apply the Sn formula. Sn formula is n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into b okay, equals to 180 into n minus 2. So you can substitute A value, you can substitute D value. After substituting A and D values, simplify this, you will get a quadratic equation in terms of n. Okay, you substitute A value is 120 here, D value is 5 here. Then simplify, you will get a quadratic equation that will give you two positive values of n. Okay, both the answers are correct. But if I think our answers will come some 16 and 9. Okay, that means even if the polygon have 9 sides, your smallest angle will be 120 and other angles will be increased by 5. Even if you have 16 sides, your smallest angle will be 120, then other angles will be increased by 5. Both the answers are correct. Okay, I hope you can solve this one. Yes.